The origins of Salisbury stretch back several hundreds of years to Old Sarum, a chalk hill north of the current city on the site of an Iron Age hill fort, a location that was the meeting point of several Roman roads. The first cathedral at Old Sarum was built 1075 to 1091, but later resited at the confluence of the rivers Avon and Nedda, 2 miles south, the location of a new town that became today's Salisbury. Work commenced in 1220, the tower and spire added in 1310 to 30, creating that unforgettable landmark painted by Constable. I researched the shoot thoroughly before leaving home. First, the cathedral website. Photography permitted, but no tripods or flash, and there was a restaurant. There was a silent disco that evening, and all the chairs in the nave had been removed. You can just make out the lighting gantry in front of the choir. The shoot was on a day trip by train from Surrey, off-peak by the way. I travelled light, taking only the OM5 and 12-45 Pro lens. Outside and indoors, I handheld at 200 ISO on program and spot metered. Left the white balance on auto, adjusting it in Adobe Lightroom as I had saved to RAW. You are now viewing JPEG copies after completing all modifications. The train was on time, because I always travel on the right train. This is not a joke. Bus Checker, a smartphone app, tells you in real time not only buses, but trains too, by clicking the relevant station icon. There is more than one way to reach Salisbury by train from Surrey, so I had a plan B. I also learned that across the close from the cathedral is a National Trust property, Mompesson House. So let's take a look, as it is open today. Back in 1635, the building was leased by the Dean and Chapter of Salisbury Cathedral to Thomas Mompesson, hence its name. But it was rebuilt in 1701 by Charles Mompesson, who died in 1714. Since then, it has been home for several families, and between 1946 and 1951, it became the residence of the Bishop of Salisbury. Dennis Martineau bought the house in 1952, and following his death in 1975, it was bequeathed to the National Trust. I found it a gem that can easily be overlooked by the Trust's grander houses. It is described by the National Trust as quintessential Queen Anne townhouse, and you will find it in Choristers Green, situated within the Cathedral Close. The one thing I cannot alter is weather, but after consulting several weather forecasts, I have moved my visit back one day. There was still more cloud than anticipated. It didn't rain, but heavy clouds livened up the sky, and when the sun pierced through, it added drama. The only thing I lost out on was a sunset, so I caught an earlier train home as there was a gap in the timetable.